Alright guys, this is Thomas with Pro Tabletop, here to talk about my Ultramarines. They're back. They're always around, they're waiting, but I've gotten some new models in. I wanted to try to get some paint on them for the stream. You know, it's hard to get models painted quickly when we're changing lists every week, every day seemingly, but we got some new stuff in here. I want to try them out, and we'll see how they do. So we're led, of course, by Guilliman. I've tried many lists without him, but they always come back to Guilliman. He's just too good for what he does. He's leading the Supreme Command, and then I have a battalion. First HQ is the Primaris Chaplain on bike, upgrade to Master Sanctity. He knows 2 Litanies, Fire and Focus. Those give him +1 to hit and +1 to wound to his friends. I gave him the Wise Orator or Warlord trait, so he can roll for 2s for his Litany, so he definitely wants to get those off. Tigurius, Chief Master Librarian. He knows 3 powers. Good old Tigurius himself. He knows Psychic Fortress, Mighty Heroes, and Nullzone. Nullzone will be a tricky one to play, but could be very powerful against the clowns today with their 3-up invulnerable saves. Going down the troops, I have a 10-man unit of Intercessors. These guys got the auto bolt rifles. Those are the Assault 3 ones, so they're shooting lots of shots. Sarge has a Powerfist, got a couple grenade launchers in there. They're going to be a big work unit against the clowns. I have 2 units of Incursors, so those guys right there are standing in for Incursors. 2 units of Incursors. And then 1 big unit of 3 multi-melta attack bikes. On the heavy side, we have a unit of Grab Devastators. Upgrade the Sarge with a Storm Bolter, just a couple extra points. Unit of Hellblasters with the Assault Incinerators. I gave the Sergeant a Master Crafted Incinerator, so he can do up to 3 damage. I have 2 units of Tyrannic Veterans. They come in 4-man squads, so you can take 4 as a minimum size. So that's pretty good. These guys are great. Still working on the paint, but I like these guys a lot. And then I squeezed in, by taking those Incursors, a 3rd unit. So count them, 1, 2, 3 units of Victor's Guard. Everyone hates those guys, but I think they're great. And then the last elite, 6 elites in this list. Super Apothecary himself, the man handing out the massages, helping everyone feel better. So that's the list, Ultramarines. Let's go see what my opponent is playing.
All right, we're here to go over the Eldari. That's right, I say Eldari because we've got Drukhari, Harlequins, and Craftworld going on here. If you want to see a full in-depth kind of analysis, you could go check out that video on our YouTube channel. You've got it for both of our lists. So let's start this off with the Harlequins. You've got your Shadow Seer. So yeah, that's a Psyker. He's going to do mortal wounds, going to help do some double moves, and then I'm going to have the bubble to have -1 to wound for my Harlequin troops. Comes in helpful sometimes, but not as much as you'd think. Then you've got my Troop Master. The Saving Grace kills everything. Got the Fang Relic. Also is going to be re-rolling all wounds for all my Harlequins in combat, and 2 additional mortal wounds after I fight onto something, which comes in clutch if you need to clean up a character or a squad if they are not fully dead. Love the Troop Master, everything about it. Amazing. So I pay for the extra pivotal roll for that, and it's worth every penny. Then you've got a bunch of Harlequins. So I've got my conversions here. You've got 2 9-mans, which are going to be the blue squad and the purple squad. And then you've got 3 5-mans, squad of orange with hair, purple with hair, or pink, I guess, and then no hair. They all have caresses and just normal guns, no fusion going on, no boats to carry them. They just run around and they punch things. Then you go over to the craft world. You're going to have a Farseer on a bike, and the craft world traits are going to be Master Crafted, which is mainly for my support platforms, and it is also Citizens, which is going to give my platforms native reroll 1s as well. So it just makes them as accurate as possible. I don't really need anything else in this list. So this Farseer is rocking Doom and Executioner, and Smite, of course, and he's just going to do mortal wounds. That's what he does, and he's going to help do some rerolls maybe. We've got 2 squads of 5 Rangers. These guys, usually I will run Warp Spiders, but I shifted some points around and everything at 2 squads of these guys instead of 1 squad of Warp Spiders, mainly to help with engage or to just hold an objective somewhere, but mainly engage for a couple turns or possibly deploy Scramblers as well. So they come in useful being able to natively deep strike. And then you've got 3 platforms, 2 with D cannons in each squad and 1 with a Shadow Weaver in each squad. So all out of line of sight shooting. These are my while you stand, you fights, which is very important because they become individual units after you deploy. Then we go over to the Drukhari. You've got a Homunculus, which is going to give all of the racks and himself, you know, toughness 5, and that is super important. Makes them harder to kill. They're all going to be Prophets of the Flesh, so they're going to have 4 up invulnerable saves instead of 5 up invulnerable saves. And I got 2 10-mans, and there's an Aus Factor gun in each one, basically so that I can fire and fade them for extra movement in turns. It's actually a pretty cool gun, too. It could do mortal wounds and stuff, so it's a cool gun, but it's mainly for my movement, and then 1 9-man just because I need the points. It's not a 10-man. So that is the list. Let's get into the game. Let's start off with this. I have 2 CP. I spent 4 pregame. Thomas has 6. He spent 4 pregame. So we both redeployed to the complete opposite sides of the board. I had to save as much of this while we stand we can fight as possible here. So I've got some stuff hidden way back here, and I've got a bunch of racks here. They're just going to get shot. They're going to get charged. It's going to be not ideal because, you know, according to my video, they're supposed to be my late game. They're going to take a beating right now. But I got this over here in a safe corner on the opposite side of the board, and he's got really not a whole lot over here. He does have stuff in reserves, but I'm feeling okay about that at least. The problem is if I have to go on this objective here, I'm going to be out in the open to get shot, so it's going to be kind of hard. I think I can slingshot all the way back here in the corner and turn this corner of the board into mine pretty easy. But he's got all this over here, and it's just going to be super problematic for me. So his list is a very, very hard list for me, so it's a very good list to practice and hopefully a good list for you guys to see a battle report on. It's going to be a very, very strong uphill battle. We'll see how many 4-up invulns I can make is what it's going to come down to, right? But he's going to double tap these intercessors. He's going to kill a bunch of racks, and it's not going to be pretty. So yeah, we will come back after Thomas's turn 1 and see what is going on.
All right, end of turn 1. I went first. I redeployed twice. So I really, really wanted to push onto his while we stand. So I put everyone over here, all my big hitters, Hellblasters, Assault Intercessors, and attack bikes. He actually redeployed his guys away 1 unit. He can only pick up 3, so when he put those platforms down, they became separate units, but he did redeploy 1 of each, so I can't kill all of them and pick up Oath unless I get all 3. So he's cleverly denied me from killing him on this side. So on my shooting, everybody ran up. I killed 1 unit of racks. I shot a little bit of that second squad. I killed 1 unit of clowns. I killed 2 platforms, but he made invulnerable saves, and he survived on this one. So they backed up. They're hiding. That guy survived. 2 crack grenades at him. Twice 4 crack grenades. And everyone else ran back. So we're out of range from those guys. We backed up. But we forgot, like an idiot, to deploy Scramblers. And these guys ran. They wanted to get engaged, so they needed to cross over the line. They needed a 2. They rolled a 1. I didn't have enough CP. I only have 4 left. So I just opted to kind of pull back in the forest. He shifted all his clowns back here to try to prevent them from getting nuked, which is good. But now he's got this whole flank kind of under wraps. So on to his turn 1.
So we had to be kind of aggressive here. We tried to get a charge in over here. We spent CP. We didn't get it. There's really nothing I can do. I needed that to block his graph from coming over here and to get them. So we'll just sit there. It is what it is. These guys have a 3-up invuln in the middle. I was able to kill him off of this objective. So I prevented him from getting 15 on the primary, but he'll walk away with 10. Yeah, I mean, I'm just kind of castling up. I did my first deploy Scramblers here. So close on this side of the board. So close. 1 D cannon, shot, and killed 2 bikes. I didn't even kill 1 bike, so the other one would have stayed in range. And then I almost killed this guy with Shadow Weavers, but I only rolled 1 shot on both Shadow Weavers. He failed both of his saves. So if I would have killed that bike, I would have felt really good. But yeah, I mean, he's gonna pump a lot of shots and do a lot of things right now, and it's just gonna start to go south pretty quick. I knew based on the deployment this was gonna be really, really hard to come back, but I just took him off as much stuff as I can and got what I could. That's really all I can do. So we just have to hope for a lot of mess up rerolls for him this turn, and that I make a lot of saves. That's really all I can do, because I'm going to be out of play now for another turn or 2. So yeah, Thomas, let's see what you got.
Top of turn 2 is done. Ultramarines made a lot of plays that turn. Let's talk through them. So everyone moved up here. I grew an attack bike back. I cast a Nullzone and killed the lone squad of racks. They're unbuffed with no invulnerable save, so they just died. I was able to see, just peek around the corner and see both of those platforms, so killed that black platform over there, 2 of them. He's still got some hiding in the back. So slowly but surely, there's some red ones there. These guys shot and whittled down those racks. These guys hanging around in the center to get Oath of Moment. That's that Ultramark. That's the center. Over here on this turn, I brought in grab guys within my deployment zone. Shot and killed barely. Brad was able to farm a CP. We had none, so he got an invulnerable save on that guy. He made a bunch of 4-ups, didn't take any wounds hardly, but I was able to shoot one guy with a cherub twice, so he killed the other one. Actually, it wasn't even enough. I needed Tyrannic veterans. I killed the racks, or the Harlequins that were here. Everyone charged just to get some movement. So I really want to force him to come this way instead of coming over into my power. He's got his while we stand, so I only killed one of his while we stands. These 2 guys are keeping him alive. So we got to figure out how do we deal with that. But he's got some reserves coming in. I did my 1 Scramblers over here. My other vets, they came in, took this objective. I still have 1 unit of Vitreous Guard left in reserve. And then we're going to his bottom of turn 2.
All right, so the bottom of 2 from Harlequins, I got so many good advances, 5s and 6s everywhere. I came all the way in here. Unfortunately, I killed kind of too much stuff with mortal wounds. I was rolling 3 on my mortal wound damage. So I couldn't get a charge over here with the purple guys. I should have just not even worried about that and charged them to make sure my purple's safe. Now these purple girls, there's one sticking out. He might get some shots in there, but I can just pull the one guy. So I don't think he'll kill the whole squad, but he might shoot at some. I'm pretty safe over here. And then I kind of just left this to kind of block him from coming in over here and getting an easy charge with Vitrix. Then I was able to just stay over here with the character. I know he's going to die. I was super close to killing the bikes again, but I didn't get enough shots. I only got 1 with the D cannon, 4 damage. Not enough. Killed 1 bike. And then I did my second deploy scrambler right over here with these guys, and they got me in my engage. So that's why they're super strong. Warp Spires could be a little bit better, but I went with them for now. Yeah, I mean, it's a tough one. We'll see what he decides to go to and shoot. He has to commit a little bit to get over here to kill them. And he's got to kind of commit to get over here for my while we stands. So I don't think he can get them all this turn. We'll see. I'm out of CP again. So unless I gain some back, we'll see what happens. We're just going to try to gain points. Gain points.
All right, turn 3, Ultramarines, top. We finished that pretty decent. I was very apprehensive about where to place a few units. Probably not the most opportune. I had this unit of Vitrix Guard. Didn't really know where to put them. They were coming from reserves. He had blocked me out where I wanted to come in on his flank. I did have an opportunity to come here and charge. At that time, he had 10 clowns. I wasn't sure that it was worth it. I didn't want to just kill him. But in a stroke of luck, I shot and he failed. A lot of saves, 9 out of 14 4-ups, and lost that whole squad. So I could have charged and actually did some work. Some mistakes maybe there. These guys shuffled over the line. There's the center, so they're over the line to get engaged. The Chaplain turbo boosted. These guys ran, which actually was a problem because then they couldn't deploy Scramblers. So I had to spend 2 CP to let these guys scramble and shoot. Terrible waste of CP. These guys ran for 1, right? So they easily could have just moved and did that. But here, these guys ran, but did not get on the objective. And this guy stayed alive on all my shooting. Luckily, I was able to just still charge with the bikes. Didn't do any damage. But he's falling back. So give me a little extra movement there. I shot his Rangers here. So he's still got 1 more unit of Rangers to bring in. I've got the primary. I'm holding him. He doesn't want to sneak out because he'll get shot. And he's still got 2 of his while we stands just hanging out here, staying alive. So I can't kill those guys. I did kill the ones in the back. So just really, can I get those for while we stand? And then I'm going to just keep racking up oath points until he decides he wants to get me.
Okay, so this turn is a little tricky. I had to go up here with the Farseer to deny 15 points on the primary for him. I did some mortal wounds to the Chaplain. I was hoping I would get lucky and do more mortal wounds. Thomas pointed out I made a mistake over here by moving these guys back a little bit further. He has an angle with the Hell Blasters, but I mean, it's perfectly fine. I give him a 4-up invuln, not the end of the world. We just got to make our saves. And if he comes in with the Chaplain, I'm here for some counter punch, and we're just kind of sitting here with some characters ready to jump on objectives for next turn and see what we could pull in. I got my last deploy Scramblers over here with the Rangers, and they also will pick up Engage for me. Unfortunately, this guy still survived over here, so yeah, I got Engaged pretty easy that turn. And I didn't spend any CP, so I've got CP to give me a 4-up invuln when he shoots at me. A little mistake there, so that's going to cost me a lot of points, unfortunately. But we'll see what happens. Could make 4-ups.
All right, I had the top of the turn. Turn 4 is done. Ultramarines did some work. I wanted some long charges, but we'll take what we can get. These guys failed a 10-inch, but I did get a shot here because these guys rolled a 13, a 6 + 1 for Roboute, 7. So they got to move the max 13, so that got me an angle just down the line here. I also can shoot just here since he backed those guys up. That was a mistake. It gave me the line of sight right down the seam here. So 2 guys were able to shoot and just finish him off. Everyone else fired at the Farseer and did him in. I was going to charge him for extra movement, but he just died. These guys finished off his 1 character, so I had that for Oath. I did kill the Farseer, so it didn't really matter. And then the Chaplain over here charged this guy. 1 rag, did 3 wounds to him. He got a CP back when I spent. And that guy, now he's going to have 2 CP back. He's going to grow a second CP, so he could like grow 10 guys and recycle them. So it's just going to be not great. The Chaplain got wounded just to add insult to injury from that rack he didn't kill. He just made all his saves, 3 4-ups to live. So
Bottom of 4 going into top of 5. He re-rolled on the Chaplain to keep him alive for my shooting, so I had to go into combat. He barely failed some saves there in combat. Chaplain was dead. He picked up 3 guys here. I really needed 1 more to stay alive to prevent him from falling back. Make sure you get your CP too. Yeah. And I was able to kill Vitrix and go into the corner down below there with my True Master. I'm still holding this back objective. So I'll be able to get some more primary. He's going to kill a lot of stuff right here. He shouldn't be able to get to my platform too easy. Probably get with the Hellblasters. I was able to bring my racks back here. I failed the charge though. I got an 8 even with the reroll, and they didn't get it. If they would have got over here and been able to get onto this objective, it would have been really good. But they're in a decent spot to do something maybe next turn to give me some more primary. He's kind of forced to shoot at him. So we'll see how it goes. It's a pretty close game. Tom's going to bring the hurt right now on the last turn here. And yeah, we'll see what we pull it out. It was, what, 76 to 72?
yeah, super close.
Super close. So if you're watching this, we went over our lists and everything before this game. We're going to do a bunch of post-game stuff as well, talking about our lists. I will say I made a really major mistake right here. A lot of stuff's out of your control sometimes in games based on what you roll and everything. I had full control of this platform that was right here. I'll grab it real quick. So I had these 2 platforms back here like this, hiding, if you remember from earlier. And he had a line of sight from his Hellblasters right through here. If I would have been more cautious and I would have checked every line of sight and I was literally right there instead, he wouldn't have been able to shoot me. I would have lived. The next turn I would have been able to hide more, and I would have got 5 more on While We Stand We Fight, and it would have been a 1-point game in my favor. So losing this was a big mistake on my part that I had full control over of my points. So yeah, let us know in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe, do all the things. Very, very close game. Great game, Thomas. You made me sweat.